I feel in the face of all the problems in the world impotent, and why I somehow cannot manage to transform I. Now here we get to the real problem, because we're always telling each other that we should be different. Now I'm not going to tell you that tonight. Why not? Because I know you can't. Nor can I. That may sound depressing, but I'll tell you it isn't. It's very hard. But everybody, you see, who is at all sensitive and awake to their own problems and human problems is trying to change himself. We know we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. So when we are aware of the ego I, we are aware of this chronic tension inside ourselves. And that's not us. It's a futile tension. So when we get the illusion, the image of ourselves, married to a futile tension, you've got an illusion married to a futility. And then you wonder why I can't do anything.
Hello, welcome to today's stream. Let's go over what I think is bullish about Bitcoin today. So, yesterday I did have a bit more of a bearish outlook. And if you watched yesterday's stream, I did enter a small scalp long on, let's see here, this candle. And I actually closed it here, which I'm a touch annoyed about, but it's my own fault. You know, I just kind of expected the range to stay in a range, and I tried shorting there as well, and it broke up. So, overall, I was in profit yesterday, so I really can't complain. However, there was a bullish break, and there is implied short-term upward expansion, albeit it is rather stretched out, and the mass readings aren't as clean as I typically like them to be to define upward expansion, for that matter, at least on the 15-minute chart. So, now, actually, you're going to do a pretty good job of it on the 5-minute here, right, where we have the 80 period. And that's really going to define trend quite clearly. Actually, I might short Bitcoin this very second, like right now. Hold on. Hold on. I kind of want to play this. Okay, yeah, we can define this on the 1 minute chart. I'm going to do a scalp short here. Let's do the 3 minute just so we have a bit of balance and that clarity. Okay. So, right, every time you have an upward expansion, like so, you have mass generation, and watch this. Right, previously it was the 150, 160 period here. And guess what happens when I plug in 160 into this band? You're going to get pretty interesting results. Right? When the band is entered, price reverts to the 160 mean. Beautiful. Right? And so we activated that condition on the 180 now. And because of that, we are going to plug in 1.8 and 180. Then here on the 3 minute chart, well, we are just going to try to grab that scalp. Hey, see, we have only just activated the mean reversion condition. And what's important to note is if you activate the condition, you should still wait for entry signal before attempting to short, just for the sake of risk management. So thankfully, I still have some time. It's already down $10. God damn it. So help me God, if this drops to the mean in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to shoot somebody. Metaphorically. Probably myself. So. Alright, I'm just going to barrel for this trading view idea because I want to trade this. So, on the daily chart, we had to bounce off our longest overexpanded period. Same concept, right? For the mean inversion. Where we have the currently the 125 is the longest. Right, so we plug in 120 here. Beautiful. And it's between 110 and 125. Cat, the Cat with charts has it over here. Hold on. Guy posts so many charts. Except he didn't show the indicator labels. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so we did get our bounce pivot off this here. And I kind of forgot to look at that, just a macro level mean inversion pivot. Because I kind of just assumed we would have a lateral mean inversion inside of it, and the mean would travel up to meet price. And that's fine and dandy, but to think the pivot would actually be respected. That's something else. Yeah, so we're actually short-term bullish right now. I'm probably going to retest previous highs. So, I've been tethered out of Bitcoin for quite some time. I actually only just bought in last night when we started getting that roll up. So, I'll sell it when we're inside this band, because then I don't know what's going to happen. Other than just more compression, of course, but short-term direction will be... Actually, it might be easier to read when it's in that compressing band, but... really, is how well will this pivot be respected? Let's actually try the 12-hour, Okay, no, because the daily chart incorporates the volatility overhead, and that's good for macro mean inversion, but because we have this expansion here, and then we have its re-expansion. So technically, this here should be defined as volatility overhead, and mean inversion condition on micro time frames are technically active. But because of the reduced look-back periods, or effectively reduced look-back of macro level time frames, due to the fewer number of candles, we actually see the incorporation of volatility overhead far more frequently. And that's something I'm still trying to work out myself. What is the ideal way to read mass? Like, we can look at the 6 hour, because it was actually a pretty big problem, and I feel like pointing this out, because it's good to talk about the flaws of your strategy. If you have converse expansion, or tapered expansion, as in your micro time frames quickly expand and then quickly compress before the expansion of the longer periods, you get some weird results. For instance, if we take a look at our longest overexpanded period for this relative downtrend on the, why don't I just look at this, 180 period, right? Is this set to 180? That'd be nice. Yeah, it's not. Okay, 180, right? So, 180, right? This was our mean reversion condition. Oh god, I can't believe I took profit there. I feel so much like an idiot right now. We had an active mean reversion condition, and I took profit as soon as it activated. Jesus. Oh, always check your higher time frames, people. I am beating myself up over this. So I caught the exact bottom, right? Because I was using a 5-minute longest overexpanded period CCI roll-up to just gain entries into these 3 swing lows. And I tried this one as well, but that stopped out. But the last one I did catch. And then I ended up taking profit on the activation of the 1 hour mean reversion condition activation, and it was very bullish. So, yeah, it was implied where I took profit, and I was about 10x long. It's still 5% upside. Okay, well, now we know. Anyway, the point I was making, where we have the longest overexpanded period of 180 here, right? And if we were to look at, let's draw on that pivot real quick. So we're just going to take that pivot to the shorter time frame, on the 15-minute, right? So our longest overexpanded period here would be 360, and because of the different look back, you're going to see the problem here in a second. Because technically speaking, from going to the 1 hour to the 15-minute, the longest overexpanded period should just end up being a multiple of 4 of the previous value, right? Because there are 4 15-minute periods in an hour, but it's 360, right? And that actually results in a different mean reversion pivot. And what's nice about compression is it still plays out quite clearly. You know, it still ended up being a bullish mean reversion in both scenarios. They both imply the same things, but the actual CCI roll and the compression area indication are different. So you actually, this is kind of a rarer occurrence, you know, where it doesn't actually align up, but it's still effectively in the cards, right? Because your entry signals are still super similar. Because we were catching the swing low of the 15-minute mean reversion condition to the upside, but there's also, but look how different these targets are, right? It can cause a touch of confusion, and it requires a lot of experience to actually get the right ideas. So, yeah, as long as you use good risk management and still find the proper entries into the trade, you can still trade unclear readings. They just require a lot more caution. And I ended up just taking this instead of, you know, 3 times the move. Okay. Retrospective aside, my initial prediction for how this is going to play out is it's just going to be a flag, right? Just as it was previously on the BLX chart, where we just expect a lot of lateral compression. And as soon as it gets really tight, that upward break, well, that's going to be the bull run. So here's what's really important to know. Right. On 3 UAPM, you can define markets as states of potential energy based on how hot or cold they are. Colder is more, hotter is less. Right? So when you get super hot readings like this, well, what do you get? You get lateral trading. When we got this super hot reading, what happened? Bitcoin did nothing but go sideways for 3 months. So what's important to note is there was still the volatility overhead of the previous bull run right through here, right? You can see how it's still tapering off from all those ages ago. Well, what's now is that your long-term volatility overhead is now evaporated, right? All your higher periods actually imply high potential energy, but all your shorter periods imply low potential energy. So what do we need? We need short-term compression of our shorter periods. That's it. So, when do we actually finally see this compression finish? Well, that's when the bull run will begin. Why? Well, because you'll have high potential energy in the higher time frames, and you'll have high potential energy in the lower time frames, right? So, in this instance, we had high potential energy in the lower time frames, which resulted in significant trend to the downside, which resulted in significant compression, right? Lateral trading. And now we've had some upward expansion, so we used all the potential energy from the shorter time frames. But once this all compresses, all the dominoes are going to be lined up for a true bullish move. I'm very excited. So this is, if you want to buy and hold, do so. I'm bullish. Okay. That's it. Have a beautiful day. Ugh. You know, my bike seat was tilted 10 degrees forward, or backwards, excuse me. I just have the lower back pain. There it is. That's it. That's what I was trying to say. Okay. Let's check the YouTube comments. I popped it out twice. Damn it. Okay, cool. Oh, my forest sounds are too loud. There you go. Hello. Welcome to today's stream. Let's go. Well, the forest sounds are now quieter. Yeah, I forgot to check how loud it was. My bad. As long as you can hear me, that's cool. And, you know, if you couldn't, then just watch the trading view idea I'm going to publish here shortly. EOS and TRX. Locks is 6:05 on the 4-hour. That sounds cool. Let's check it out. 65 notifications. That doesn't sound right. Ooh, there is actually like a... Oh, nice. We actually have a comment on my write-up. I want to read it. Oh, Jesus. I'm in so much pain. Why do I do this to myself? Wow, this is 6,000 views. That happened fast. If you guys haven't read this write-up, I definitely recommend it. Just sort my trading view ideas by popularity and it'll be on the top. Okay. Hi, thanks for sharing, but can you confirm if your method is a range trading or a trend trading? If I understand right, if you place a long when the price pulls back to the 1.25 stita from the bottom, or a short trade from the price pulls back side, what is strategy to follow the trend? That's a great question. Okay, great question. We can actually define both market conditions accurately and use the quad CCI method. Wow, that's right. It's not right. For trend trading and the compressionary. Compressionary is a word, and I'm just going to add it to my dictionary right now. Screw you. Unless I'm actually spelling it wrong. Just kidding. It's a word now. Mean reversion. I coined it. Compressionary. It's my word. Jesus. The great thing is, we can accurately... I already used that. We can define... Alright, shit. I don't want to repeat myself. We can actually define both market conditions. Actually, use the okay. Defining is done by the 3D wave PM to read potential, energy, and weather. Not a word. Is in a state of expansion. or compression. Good enough. I like it. Please post. Thank you. Bitcoin. Damn it! God damn it! I'm gonna fucking... I waited 10 minutes. I said if this is gonna drop in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna shoot somebody. Ugh, god damn it. Ah! Just missed out on a couple $100. Okay. Man, that kind of thing annoys me. Right, 180 was our longest overexpanded period. The condition's already complete. Like, it happened in a single candle. We activated the condition and then we reverted to the mean, and I didn't get a chance to log into BitMEX and trade it. Okay. That's my fault. Okay, let's check out EOS, TRX, and then I just want to trade. I got work to do. Actually, there's nothing going to happen, so it's going to be a lateral trading range for the next few minutes, so we're fine. EOS BTC. I guess you can try to define a shorter term mean inversion here. That will work. Three-way PM loading? It is, hooray. Okay, that's a really shitty wave PM reading. Although, one actually cool thing you can do that I realized rather recently is, this happens a lot in Forex, is when you have a tapering wave PM, which is these skinny long readings, you can actually define the end of trend by just looking at where the expansion stops. It's that simple. I can't believe I didn't realize it sooner. When you have these super long tapering 3D wave PM readings, as soon as it stops expanding, trend is over. That's it. It's not going to work for the plumes, but these tapered readings it's actually really accurate. So for trend reversals, you can use that. So you could use quad CCI to try to catch the swing low of a bullish move here. That's what I think. Okay. I don't remember the other coin you wanted me to look at. What was it? TRX. Oh man, I don't know what to think about this. We got a super obvious trend line, and that makes me wary. How much? Okay, watch this. What are the chances that we would get that very trend line drawn on this chart? Oh my god. This is the problem, guys. Don't use trend lines. This guy is using the same trend line. This guy isn't, but he's on crack, so stay away from that. Oh, this guy's he's using an MA. I accept. So help me God. It's just a bit too obvious, guys. We'll probably see like a dip down here. Quad CCI doesn't imply bullishness though. That's hard. I don't want to trade it. I don't think it's worth the risk. Because after you get out of these long downtrends, the upward bump can't sustain all that long because volatility overhead. So usually it just ends up compressing laterally, and that makes more sense, especially considering what happened after the previous downtrend. So wait for a retrace, and then you can buy the bottom there. Ooh, here's a question. Why do you think the 15-minute reading should be 4 times the 1 hour, provided wave PM is the rate of change of width of the Bollinger Band and not actually the width of the Bollinger Band? Dude, great question. It's a fantastic question. Yeah, it's going to change on period look back, but from personal experience, it is very consistently similar values. I'll show you what I mean. The readings are rather consistent. Let's try the 1 hour chart. And let's go on BAT, I guess. That's just kidding. BCPT? No. Yes, I'm cherry picking. Leave me alone. Okay, no, I won't cherry pick. Let's do Bitcoin. And let's go into this one. Let's choose this reading here for no reason at all. Okay, here on the 1 hour chart, we have a reading of 200. That's super convenient. If I go to the 4 hour chart, the reading on this line should be 50. Okay? Lo and behold, it's not. Okay. It's about 25. Okay, so what would be on the 2 hour? About 70. Yeah, man, you're right. Look-back period does make things weird. If you adjusted the look-back period to match a constant time frame, it would fix it. But variable look-back period is something I haven't been able to crack yet. You know, you could normalize look-back period, but how would you define what to normalize it on? You would have to choose a static constant and adjust all the periods around that. But then things get weird, you know, because then when you go to the super high time frames and you have a 4,000, or no, I'm sorry, if you use it on a high time frame and you go down to the 1 minute chart and you suddenly have a 4,000 look back period, then you're gonna get really bad readings. I've tried it before, but it's a great question. It's something I'm still working on. That's part of the reason why quad CCI is so important for gaining entry into mean reversion positions. It's trying to catch the swing low of a compressionary period is far more accurate than just betting on the condition itself. Maybe we should ask Mark about it. I'm really curious how I'd reply to it. It's quite the puzzle. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to do for today. It has been a pleasure, and I want to work on some charts as well. So, you folks enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Have a good day.